Hi, and welcome back to engVids. I'm your teacher today, Benjamin. Let's go. What we're doing today? We are looking at 10 super useful nouns to begin with that you can use in all areas of life, really. But I've especially chosen these words because I feel that they would be useful to you in the world of work. Okay, so in this lesson, we will explore the meanings of these nouns, which are great for giving compliments and, telling someone that they've done a good job and are doing a good job. We will then look at how they are used as adjectives, the opposite qualities, the antonyms, so what is the opposite of charming, for example? And then we will look at adverbs, how these nouns go into adverbs. And I feel that using adverbs is a really good way of showing sophistication in your language, which is what's needed to get top grades in whether you're a native speaker of English or an ESL learner doing some kind of exam. So thanks for watching. Let's get down to work. Charm. Think of Prince Charming. Yep. He makes everyone feel good. He enters the party and immediately every single person he speaks to leaves the conversation feeling better about themselves. Charm means to give delight. Sounds good? I wouldn't mind a bit of that. Consistency. Consistency. Could you repeat that at home for me? Consistency. Excellent. Now, consistency as a character quality is when you do the same thing day in, day out, again and again. So, if your consistency, how are you with getting places on time? Is your punctuality, would you say that you are consistent? Yeah, so the consistency is the ability to do something again and again and again in the same way. I said consistent, which is we'll come to in a moment, is the adjective. Creativity. Creativity is, some of you will already know, it's the ability to kind of come up with new ideas. Artists, painters, musicians are full of creativity. They're full of ideas. And if you check out my video on creative writing, you'll get some ideas for developing your creativity. Enthusiasm. Yep. Do I approach this lesson going, oh no, I've got to speak to those guys on engVid again? Or no, I'm like, yes, I've got something cool to teach them. Let's go. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and get down to work. Full of enthusiasm, a desire to get fully involved in life and every single moment along the way. Flexibility. If someone says, can we change a plan? Are you able to go, yeah, okay, yeah, no, we'll stop doing that and we'll go and do this instead. Flexibility. Yep. If you're flexible, you can bend. Yep. You're very good at yoga. That's physical flexibility. Yep. The other type of flexibility is being able to move and be adaptable in the way you do things. Okay. You can see the relevance for business English. Thank you very much for your flexibility if someone changes a plan. Okay. Formality. Formality is how smart something is. I would appreciate a degree of formality in your appearance on Monday morning. I would appreciate it if you could be quite smart on Monday. So the level of formality is how smart, or the opposite extreme, how scruffy, not smart, as in physical clothing, etc., you present yourself. Formality. Patience. Yep. If something bad happens, if someone makes a mistake, Are you able to say, never mind, yeah, better luck next time, or I'm sure it won't cause too much of a problem? I was speaking to a friend back home a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me he loves motorbikes, and I think he was teaching his girlfriend how to ride a motorbike, and she got a little bit confused and ended up like smashing the bike up. And he displayed amazing patience because he was like, didn't matter to him that the bike was smashed up. He was just able to stay really calm, make sure she was okay, and continue. Patience, really, really important virtue. Yeah, a good thing. Persistence. Are you able to keep going? Yeah. Marathon runners keep going. Even if they're feeling tired, they push through. So persistence is where you keep trying to do something. Maybe you're a salesman, saleswoman. Yep. If you've got persistence, it doesn't matter if you get a no. You try and find the yes. Success. The opposite of failure. Yep. When things work out well, where your effort turns into a good outcome. Warmth. So we know what a fire is, yeah? It emits, it gives out warmth. If you as a person give out warmth, then people enjoy being in your company because, you know, you're giving them kind of a nice experience. Yeah, you're giving out good vibes, as people say these days. Okay, so what we're going to do now is transform these abracadabra into adjectives. You might, if you are an advanced learner, have a quick, you might press pause and have a quick go at doing this yourself. If not, stay with me and we'll do it together. And abracadabra, here they are, the adjectives. So remember, nouns are people, places, things. You can have abstract nouns as well, which is a quality. For example, courage. Whereas we use adjectives to describe the nouns. Yep. The happy giraffe, the silly potato. Can potatoes be silly? Okay, so these are all describing words, right? The charming speech from the chief executive. Yeah, charming, very charming. It was welcoming, it was funny, the charming welcome given by the members of the welcoming committee. Yep, full of good feeling. Consistent, the consistent employee who always met their deadlines. They did it the same way each time. Consistent, the consistent employee we're going to go with. Creative, the creative developer. Yep, web developer. They're always coming up with exciting new fonts and images and slogans. Creative, they are full of creativity. Enthusiastic, the students were enthusiastic about going on the field trip to the Natural History Museum. They were enthusiastic. Yep, they were full of excitement. Flexible. Thank you for being flexible in your arrangements. He or she is flexible in the way they do their job. Yep. Sometimes they'll do it like this. Sometimes they'll do it like that. And it depends what the customer wants. They can adjust the way they do things according to the customer. They are flexible. Formal. Formal dress you may get on an invitation. That means you need to wear smart clothes, and I will be doing a separate lesson on dress codes to address this. Formal. You are very formal. A formal speech, a formal email. A formal email is one written in proper English, no slang, good punctuation, yeah, good vocab. Patient. The nurse was very patient despite the behavior of the patients. So being patient, yeah, we don't get angry, yeah, we can stay calm because it's okay to wait. Sheila was very patient in the long queue. She stood and waited. Persistent. Sheila was persistent because she knew she needed to get a ticket. And when the counter closed and said, come back tomorrow, it didn't bother her. And she came back, yep, to do something again and again and again. Schools can be quite persistent at encouraging good attendance. Yep, they make phone calls, they talk to people. Yep, they make consistent, persistent. Yeah, quite similar. Sounds the same, quite a similar meaning too. If you persist, you keep going through. Per means through. Okay. Successful. The successful businesswoman made a lot of money. Yep. She achieved success. Yes? If you achieve success, if you're successful, you're a person that is full of success. You've done really well. Warm. She was a very warm character. Yeah, she was very kind, very nice. Okay. Antonyms. An antonym is the opposite. So synonym is a word that so a synonym of charm might be wit. It's a similar word. We're now looking for antonyms, meaning the opposite of the adjectives. Have a quick look. Choose one. Choose one word from here. This is probably the easiest. Can you think of an antonym? Okay, I'm going to write them up now. Okay, the antonyms can be a little bit complicated because not every adjective has a direct antonym. So sometimes we can use prefixes, so it means the opposite, but sometimes we need to look for a totally new word. Now, I asked you to do this word. Yep, you can't say he's or she is an unwarm person. We say cold, yeah? Hot and cold, warm and cold. Right, let's go through these. So charming, yeah, when we give out lots of lovely energy and people feel really good to be around us. An uncharming person, no. So the opposite effect of that is if you are repulsive. But it's not a perfect antonym because generally speaking, this refers to character, where if you say repulsive, this is often to do with like physical appearance. So it's kind of an antonym, but it's not perfect. Repulsive behavior is like really, really bad behavior that drives people away. That said. Opposite of consistent, inconsistent. I'm afraid, Benjamin, you've been a little bit inconsistent, the manager might say to me. Inconsistent. You haven't been doing things in a consistent enough manner. Yeah, right. Normally I say subscribe at the end of the video, and now I'm going to say it now. Make sure you're a subscriber to me. Uncreative. A creative person has lots of ideas. An uncreative person doesn't. They prefer to do things in a rigorously systematic approach and find numbers and rules and equations easier than being imaginative. I'm not saying maths is an uncreative subject, or maybe I am. Right. Unenthusiastic. If you have no excitement and enjoyment in what you are doing. Unenthusiastic. Quite difficult to pronounce. unenthusiastic. 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 One more time. Unenthusiastic. Good. Inflexible. If someone's flexible, they can adapt. They can come up with new ideas. Someone who is inflexible does things the same way, and if someone wants them to change, no thanks. Informal. I'm wearing an informal shirt. Yep. If I was wearing a formal shirt, it would be buttoned up, I would be wearing a tie, it would have cufflinks, and I would have my jacket on. Yep. Informal, in a relaxed or casual style. Impatient, where I have no patience. I'm driving, someone is driving slowly in front of me, horn. Yeah, I'm being impatient. I can't wait. Impatient. Say that for me. Impatient. Now, this one doesn't have a direct antonym, so I have to go searching for a word that means the opposite. Now, resolution. At the beginning of the year, we make New Year's resolutions. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then we forget about them in a week. Yep. If you are a resolute person, then you continue with those resolutions all the way through the year. But this little prefix here means the opposite. So if I'm irresolute, I don't follow through with my resolutions all the way through the year. They last for a day. Irresolute, to not have the perseverance to be able to do something. Okay, unsuccessful. If my videos are unsuccessful, then no one watches them. So please make sure I am not unsuccessful and like and share them with people you feel would benefit from watching them, people who are interested in improving their English. Cold. We know what the weather's like if it's cold. If a person is cold, then they leave us feeling after we've seen them. No, they leave us feeling a bit kind of, ooh, God, that was a bit nasty. Yeah, if someone's a bit cold, then they can be, you know, there's no sort of small talk. They can be quite cutting to the point, not very nice. Right, it leaves us to find the adverbs, the way in which things are done. So if you are an advanced learner of English, you'll want to play around with where the adverb is positioned in the sentence. It can be at the beginning, middle, or end, sort of depending on the sentence. If you are a beginner or intermediate student, if you're a beginner, you're doing really well watching this lesson. If you're intermediate, let's just try and get the adverbs in at all. This one could go quite well at the beginning. Charmingly, full of charm, charmingly, he invited me to the party as well. Yeah, it was such a nice thing for him to have done. Consistently. You are consistently late. It is a problem. So it's between the pronoun and the main verb. You are consistently late. Creatively. I thought you did that really creatively. You did your presentation amazingly creatively. You did that creatively. You did that creatively. So I've got the adverb at the end. Okay? Okay, there are other lessons on engVid on adverb placement, so you can check those out. He did that creatively. She did that creatively. You played the song enthusiastically. Yep. She sang the song enthusiastically. He walked into the room enthusiastically. So I'm using the adverb at the end of the sentence here. Flexibly. She managed to schedule the appointment flexibly. Yep. she handled the request flexibly. It would probably work better with the noun there, with flexibility. Formally. To be formally invited to a wedding. Yeah, you get the proper invitation card. To dress formally. Patiently. She waited patiently. So I've got there the adverb describing how the verb is done. That's what adverbs always do. They're describing the verb. Persistently. She persistently asked him to marry her. She kept on asking. She persistently asked him to marry her. Kind of reverse roles going on. Warmly. He smiled warmly at me. Successfully. I missed one out. I must have been thinking, imagining something. I was imagining going to the restaurant and the person serving me warmly because I am hungry, but I have to wait and explain one more word. Successfully. The cook cooked my meal successfully. Yeah, it was done really well. Okay, guys, as I've said, you've done 40 new words. We've looked at the difference between nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. Remember, adjectives describe nouns, adverbs describe verbs. Have a go at the quiz now. I've told you to subscribe. A lot of work goes into these videos, so be kind enough to help us by doing that simple action and sharing. If you do want any extra help with your English, I can't always help, but sometimes I have availability. honeyourenglish.com is the place to go. Until next time, I hope you have I hope your life is full of I hope you are full of enthusiasm. I hope that you can be persistent with your studies. I hope that you will stop being irresolute by doing the quiz right now, and that you will do it enthusiastically. Boom! See you next time.